don't know if y'all can hear that, but them gunshots is getting real close, y'all. This shit not looking too good, I ain't gonna lie. Iran, they might have won this shit. I ain't gonna lie, too many motherfuckers is begging out. This shit not good. I ain't gonna lie, this shit raps. GG's in the chat, yo.
So breaking news, we just got proof that it was an American missile which bombed the girls' school in Iran, killing 168 schoolgirls. Now at first, America tried to deny it and they blamed it on Iran until today when we just got another angle of the attack. And in this video, it shows very clearly that it was an American Tomahawk missile which hit the girls' school. Now America and Israel actually tried to blame the attack on Iran and say that Iran bombed the school themselves to make the Americans and Israelis look bad. But this video that has come out shows conclusively that it was an American missile. And so this has the opposite effect, that the US, rather than saying sorry, is still trying to get around it. For context, American Tomahawk missiles are known as possibly the most accurate missiles in the world. Without a doubt, they're commonly accepted as the most accurate long-range missiles in America's missile inventory. And so that, combined with this new footage today, proves conclusively that America probably bombed this girls' school on purpose. You don't just accidentally enter in the coordinates of an all-girls primary school. We don't know why the US would have wanted to bomb a girls' school. Maybe it's to blame it on Iran and make Iran look bad. Truthfully, we have no idea. All we know is that the US tried to deny it, and now we've just got proof that they did actually bomb it. I don't really think we've ever seen much worse than this in recent history. This is worse than anything I ever saw Israel do in Gaza. And we have categoric proof that it was an American missile, the most accurate missile. This is absolutely insane, and I'll probably get in trouble for covering this and exposing that the US was lying. And so leave me a follow whilst you can, because I'm covering all of the Iran news that you need to know about.
I saw a video this morning, real video, not CNN, though they have been better, but real video out of Israel. They are getting absolutely pummeled.
That was to be my next question. How badly is Israel getting pummeled? And where is Netanyahu?
I think he's on a plane 90% of the time. He's flying around. He's flying around the Mediterranean. I understood he was on a private jet coming into Mar-a-Lago to talk to Trump. I don't know if that's true or not, but my source is pretty good. He's staying out of the fray as best he can because he knows that he is #1 target.
How badly are the Iranians damaging Tel Aviv?
Very badly, very badly. And it is relentless. It's not a fuselage. It's relentless. And increasingly, and in the latter stages of this 15-minute video, you could see that fewer and fewer air defense missiles were going up. And at the end of it, in the last 60 seconds, which is a long time, Judge, if you're under fire, there were no Israeli missiles going up. The Iranian missiles were just getting in.
Wow. Wow.
It's all being lied about, of course. You can't get this out. You can't even get it out of Al Jazeera or Al Arabiya. They're not allowed to film this sort of thing because he's got a wrapped down tight ban on anybody coming in there and making film other than his own propaganda people.
Reasons. First of all, anybody releasing a picture or video of the damage in Tel Aviv is immediately sentenced to 5 years in prison. And secondly, because the mass media, CNN, BBC, Sky News, have accepted Israeli censorship and are therefore not broadcasting the footage that they have taken over a Tel Aviv that now looks like Gaza. How do I know that? Because I've got friends in Tel Aviv. Sheinkin Street, Tel Aviv. Near Dizengoff Square, Tel Aviv. And they've been walking around, and it's they who tell me from their own mouth that Tel Aviv now looks like Gaza. How could it not? Because the air defenses over Tel Aviv are no longer operational. The Iranians are hitting at will with the most powerful ballistic missiles. 50 ballistic missiles hit Tel Aviv last evening alone. They're also lying to you about the number of American casualties. How can all these CIA bases, all these American embassies, all these foreign bases of the United States, how can they all have been hit and destroyed with only 4 dead Americans? I'm going to take a flyer, and it's this. There are approaching 1,000 dead Americans, and they can't be hidden forever.
Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Higson? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done. We think it was done by Iran.
Mr. President, Did the United States bomb a girls' elementary school in southern Iran on the first day of the war and kill 175 people?
In my opinion, based on what I've seen, that was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hegseth? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still
But
investigating.
the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
We think it was done. We think it was done by Iran.
Mr. President?
Shalom, Kol Halal, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. That's giving all praise to the Most High, in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors to our teachers, the elders, and apostles of Great Millstone, who taught us His truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. Shalom to the 144,000 scattered abroad, man. Shalom to the 144,000. Real quick though, all right. So the comments say they think we're slow or blind. Crazy, because U.S. and Israel been bombing children for the past 100 years. So Iran bombed themselves. How do they sleep every night? Lies, lies, lies. People are catching on, man. All right, and you can see, through the body language. Okay, I'm gonna play it back right here. All right, they're asking Trump this question, and look at Pete Hegseth. All right, he's peeking up. All right, look at him. As he heard the question, they knew that was a sticky question. All right, because that girls' school that got bombed, all right, that fits the MO of the small hats. All right, it wouldn't surprise me if it was the Israelis who actually did it. All right, but Trump has brought America into this war behind the Israelis, and now they're doing war crimes that's going to, pretty much piss the rest of these nations off and put America in a bad situation with Israel, where these nations are going to turn against America and Israel. So you see Trump flat out lied it was Iran, and then they asked Pete Hegseth, who was, a little more conscious about lying, on the record, and he said, we're investigating. And you see Trump's face when he said that. He looking like, oh, come on, nigga. So these devils are getting caught up, man. Sick of the lies. Wake up, America. And people are starting to wake up. Clown face. Nothing but lies come out of his mouth. Wow, so many bots in these comments. The eyes never lie. Iran versus Epstein countries. Do they think we're stupid? Epstein regime. Of course, it's never U.S. or Israel's fault. Right, so let's play another video.
No. To anyone who doesn't know, America cannot win this war by bombing Iran. There's going to have to be a ground invasion. This ground invasion,
which is Bible prophecy, okay, that they're going to go over there and it's going to be literally a ground fight forces fighting on the ground. All right, that's where these other nations are going to get involved. They're all going to gather in the Valley of Jehoshaphat, okay, which is in that region. All right, so there is going to be a ground invasion or ground forces on the ground, and that's going to lead up to this war of Armageddon.
Is going to be the bloodiest since World War II. China and North Korea have both started sending troops to Iran. This is going to be casualties that you cannot even fathom. The casualties are going to be through the roof.
And they already are. A lot of these reports are coming back that a lot of the American and Israeli forces have, perished in this war already. They say it was only 6 Americans that got killed after Iran started bombing all those U.S. bases. But it's coming to find out that it's over 1,000. You got planes coming back with coffins draped in the American flag coming, by the boatloads, man. It's through the spirit, bro. I was, forgot where I was at. Forgot where exactly I was at, but I was just, doing my daily whatever, and it was looked like a military bomber. It was either a military bomber or a cargo ship, but it was big as hell. But it was definitely a military plane, and it flew right over, going in that direction. So we understand that, this thing is going to escalate. It's only going to get worse, and then eventually they're going to start drafting your sons and your daughters.
See C-130s coming home full of bodies. That's what America is looking at. I'm not proud of it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying that this all can still be stopped if we drag Donald Trump out of the White House, Iran is not a threat to America. Iran is zero threat to America.
Yeah, this can't be stopped because this is Bible prophecy. This has to happen. The Lord is ultimately ordaining this to happen the way it's planned out on earth.
Iran is a threat to Israel. Iran is in no way a threat to America. But Donald Trump and his bid to stay out of prison for rape,
which basically America is slaves to the small hats, all right? I'm not going to say you read between the lines. They wear the little small hats, all right? America is slaves to them, and they're using America to make the rest of the world slaves to them. Okay, that's how this is all planned. This is how this is all working right now, man. All right, and through the Spirit, we're able to identify these times and know what time it is.
Raping and killing children will stop at nothing. As I've said 1,000 times, he will gladly send your sons and daughters into the meat grinder and them come home as hamburger. He does not care about you or your children or this country. But God loves you and I love you. To anyone who doesn't know.
So that's not true. God don't love you Edomites, man. All right. God hates all Edomites. All right. That's in the Bible. So we at the end of Esau's rule and he's losing. All right. Let's go right here. Proving that point. It says Malachi chapter 1 and verse 2. I have loved you with, saith the Lord, YAHWASHI, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith the Lord, YAHWASHI, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. So the Lord says he hates Esau. So all this God loves you and I love you, hey, that's bullshit, bro. We can be real now. God does not love everybody. He certainly does not love the Edomites. All right. This is whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we return and built the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, YAHWASHI of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. So like I said with the first clip, I believe that this whole thing about who bombed the girls' school, I mean, if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck. And 9 times out of 10, it was the small hats who did that. All right, who America is backing up and defending. All right, but then they're doing shit like that, and getting you in this hot water. Let's go over here. It says Jeremiah chapter 50 and just get right to the point, verse 45. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, YAHWASHI. And we're constantly telling you what the Lord is saying. Okay, people are not listening. It says, he hath taken against Babylon and his purposes, that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, which the at least of the flock is talking about the least of the Edomites, the Amalekites, okay, the small hats. And they're the ones that's in power today. I posted a video yesterday. I mean, it's last week, a few days ago, whatever. It was last night. Maybe it was last night. And I posted this video. No, it was a different video. It was a video before the video I posted last night. But I posted that video, and basically it was going into how the small hats, how their food is, filtered from all the GMOs and poison that we have in our food. And they try to, take it down because of the thumbnail or whatever. Any reason to take it down because it was exposing them. So in these last days, these devils are getting exposed, and they're trying to take it down and stop, the exposure from coming out. But ultimately, they had to put the video, back up, man. They just took the thumbnail off or whatever. But, we all understand this all through the Spirit. The Lord is having this man be found out, okay? How are his hidden things searched out? He's being found out. And as they're getting questioned about these things that they're doing, they're getting uncomfortable. It says, surely he shall make their habitation desolation with them. And this is what is happening, that, Israelis is causing America to do all this, extra stuff. It's just drawing them out, which is going to lead them into bringing troops and putting boots on the ground and then ultimately bringing in Armageddon. It says that the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations, right? Because it's going to be nuclear destruction that's coming to America, man. All right, and the whole world is going to be shaken at America's destruction. Let's bring this back. See what else we got.
Was that the reason that Donald Trump decided to bomb Iran was that the Israelis said, if you don't bomb Iran to take out these deep bunkers, we're going to use nuclear weapons. And they had never threatened that before. And so Trump said, bombing Iran might actually save us from the start of World War III if it keeps the Israelis from using nuclear weapons.
So according to your source, the
Israelis have something called the Samson option. Okay, where basically if they're under heavy fire, they just gonna bomb everybody. They're gonna nuclear bomb everybody. That's their plan. Which reminds me of that movie Dragon Ball Z Resurrection, I believe it was called, with Frieza when he came back, and when Goku and Vegeta fought him, they beat him again, and his response was to blow the whole world up. His response, and I got to do a video on that. Lord, I could do it soon. I know I got it in the archive somewhere. But his response was to blow the whole world up. He said, you all can go to hell without me. But that's the spirit of these small hats, bro. Okay? If we lose, everybody lose. That's their spirit.
Israelis told the President of the United States that if he did not use the United States military power to bomb the nuclear facilities in Iran, Israel, acting on its own, would use nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Do you see why there's a problem with that statement, John?
Yeah.
Because they've never fucking admitted that they've had them.
That's right.
So you're telling me that they just admitted to the President of the United States that they have nuclear weapons and we still do not have them in the IAEA treaty?
I mean, if Israeli nuclear whistleblowers are to be believed, yeah, they started working on them in the 50s. They got them around the late 60s or the early 70s. The reason that Donald Trump...
Go, man. All right. This is just videos back to back.
This makes you literally bankrupt. So the straighter...
Videos back to back explaining what's happening, man. Okay, showing you what's going on. All right. Let me grab one more precept and we'll play this last video and close out. Lord, when it's edifying to the whole full elect. It says, gather in the valley. All right, let's bring that out real quick. And we're going to keep bringing these precepts out, refreshing your mind, telling you, showing you what's going on. Okay, this is Joel chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity in Judah and Jerusalem, it says, I will also gather all nations. So all these nations are going to get gathered in that region to fight, to go to war. It says, Salakia, and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is what they, call today the so-called Middle East, okay, Eastern Asia, right? It says, and will plead with them for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And this is why, the land is parted right now. You got the Israelis and the Palestinians fighting over land that belongs to neither one of them, all right? That's our land, all right? But they have parted our land, and they're over there fighting over our land, right? Jumping down. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And this is what's happening. These nations are getting ready to draw near. That's why he said you got China and North Korea sending troops into Iran, all right? They're drawing near. It says, let them come up, beat your plowshares and the swords and your pruning hooks and the spears. Let the weak say I'm strong. Now the weak nations who didn't have any type of nuclear defense or nuclear weapons are now strong because they have this technology now, okay? It says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I will sit to judge all the heathen round about. So this is all biblical. This has to happen like this. This is a holy war. The Lord says he's going to judge all these nations when they gather down there. So they definitely don't gather down there. And something's going to happen to cause all these nations to go running down there. Okay, and that's when, and the Lord can speed this thing up quick, bro. We can have this MOTB, pushed out, especially in the wartime. It's going to be like clockwork. It reminded me of a show I was watching last night. It's called the Beauty, and it was basically a shot that made you beautiful. You know, took away all your ailments, you know, and whatnot. So like I'm at the plantation, so bear with me. All right, but they showed you in the show how basically it was treated like it was an MOTB, and basically what happened was, you know, they was saying on the news how the president and all his, you know, cabinet had took that shot. You know, how everybody was taking a shot, and it was all just, you know, showing you how when this MOTB come out, they're gonna push this thing heavy, bro. The president gonna take it, everybody gonna take it. It's gonna be a major thing. You know? Lock it. Let's play this video though. It says, let the heathen be wakened, let them come down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I was sent to judge all the heathen round about. Right. All ye heathen got judgments to come, man. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fast overflow, for their wickedness is great. Multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the great day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. You see? So this is the time we're coming into, bro. Let's bring this back. Let's see what this guy got.
Hey, Morgan.
Some breaking.
You have 25 days until this makes you literally bankrupt. So the Strait of Hormuz is vital for oil transport. There's a real problem here, so pay attention and save this video just in case it gets deleted. According to JP Morgan, that we only have 25 days left until they stop producing oil until storage is filled. Things are gonna get really bad here. Of course, whenever life hands us lemons, I like them.
That means that the gas price is about to skyrocket. Okay, hyperinflation is about to take off.
Make lemonade. So I got a solution for us. I found us a way to protect ourselves from bankruptcy and maybe make generational wealth from this whole situation. This 4chan user right here consistently went viral for predicting strategic initiative.
News, Israel has taken a huge amount of damage last night, and Iran was using missiles that we didn't even know that they had. For context, that the missiles Iran was using would break up into hundreds of pieces, so that Israel could not shoot them down, and they would hit Israel in hundreds and hundreds of places. But there's some things you need to know. First, the missiles that Iran was using last night were the Iranian Khorramshahr missiles. They're long-range, long-distance, very heavy Iranian missiles. But that's not the important part. The important part is the warheads that these missiles were using. Well, as these missiles would enter Israel, they would break up into at least 80 smaller pieces, so that Israel would be unable to intercept them and shoot them down. And the videos coming out of it are absolutely crazy. It shows hundreds and hundreds of missiles falling towards Israel, and they all hit Israel directly. Now, there's some other things that you need to know though as well. Iran probably didn't develop these missiles themselves. This is technology we only believe that China and Russia have access to. And so, they've probably given these missiles and the warheads to Iran. But there's some other things. This missile strike yesterday came over the Israeli Ben Gurion airport, and there's some things you need to know. Well, the US currently has over 30 refueling planes in Ben Gurion airport, meaning that if these missiles directly hit the airport, which they might have done, we don't know because the internet's been cut off, then there's a high chance that dozens of those American refueling planes have been bombed by these Iranian Khorramshahr missiles, which broke up into 80 pieces each. And if that's the case, the US and Israel would have taken a huge amount of damage last night, and that looks like what might have happened. And so this is something they don't want you to know, but I'm telling you because I'm not afraid to. So leave me a follow because I'm covering the news.
Yeah, bro. Those are like cluster bombs that they're dropping over there. You know, because Israel has a iron dome. They have an iron dome, but basically, you know, they got a missile defense system. The Iron Dome is a missile defense system where it shoots a missile to counter another missile that's coming in. You know, but if you got a missile that's coming and it breaks up into 80, you know, separate warheads breaking off of it and rain upon you, you can't stop that. So now Israel is in trouble. All right, and it's only going to get worse.
It's coming out.
Concerns about attacks on the U.S. homeland with potential nuclear attacks coming from our adversaries. And that is why also we're hearing that there are...
Hey, it's just our early morning World War III news. I'm just playing these clips. You know, all this is, you know, all through the spirit free. You know, I didn't line these up. This all through the Spirit. So whatever plays, it was through the Spirit that the Lord had to come out.
Warnings coming out of potential attacks on U.S. soil. I shared with you just 4 days ago. Take a look here. Pentagon warns that future wars may hit U.S. soil as direct military threats grow. If things were to erupt, and they're saying at this point it would be World War III. And again, for those of you that missed it, those top 15 cities that they're saying to be on the lookout for is Great Falls, Montana, Cheyenne, Wyoming, Ogden, Clearfield, Utah, Shreveport, Louisiana, Honolulu, Hawaii, Omaha, Nebraska, Colorado Springs, Colorado, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Washington, D.C., Seattle, Washington, San Francisco, California, Houston, Texas, Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, and New York City, as they're saying that there is concerns about attacks on the U.S. homeland with potential
bases out. So now the United States cannot protect these people in the Middle East. So what they have also done is went to Plan B. They're tearing up the energy sector and all of this shit where how they make money. Okay, so they're tearing up all of the oil fields. They knocked out a big AI base. They done destroyed Amazon service over there, Microsoft service. They getting their shit wiped out over there. Okay, follow me now. They done wiped that shit. Okay, they not showing that shit on state regime media. This is why you need to be on X or following us on Instagram to get these updates and really be in the know of what the fuck is going on, right? So they wiping all of this shit out of there. So now they saying that ain't shit moving through this motherfucking Strait of Hormuz. Ain't nothing moving. Ain't shit coming from Saudi Arabia. Ain't nothing coming from none of these spots. Ain't a drop of oil leaving this motherfucker. And so Trump is all on TV bluffing and lying. Now, why are they doing this? Everybody is sitting on X and all these, well, they're lying about the numbers. They're lying about this. Of course they're lying. Why? Because they didn't plan for this shit and they're not ready. If everybody start to pull their money out of this shit, all of this shit is going down the drain. So they're using witchcraft and sorcery.
Chaldeans.
Right?
That's the Chaldeans. Okay, that's why you can't watch the American mainstream media, bro. Because it's all sorcery, witchcraft. They're telling you a bunch of bullshit, lies. Okay? Israelite Talk TV. That's crazy. I didn't know that. I don't know who this page is, but it's all for the edification of the body. All right? So you can't trust their media, man. All right? You watching the American media thinking you know something, then you don't know nothing at all. Okay?
These news people that's on the news, that's on state regime media, these are your modern day magicians. Remember, in Tanakh, it speaks about in Tanakh it speaks about the magicians of Egypt, right? The magicians of Egypt during the days and times of Pharaoh. These are your modern day witches and warlocks, the magicians of the United States. Their whole thing is to bewitch the minds of the people and keep them under this spell so they never.
And America is modern day Egypt. You see? Dude cooking. All right, like I said, I ain't know this is gonna play, but it's all through the Spirit. Dude cooking, bro.
See what's coming. Go get your money out the bank. If you got money in stocks, and because guys, this is what's going to happen. When all of this shit hits the thing, you're going to lose all of your money. All of your money that's tied up in these stocks. Because you got to remember, how do you make money off stocks? The prices and stuff go up. People invest in these buildings. Into these businesses and stuff. So if people are not investing in these businesses and all this other shit in this World War III, you get ready to lose all of that. So this is why they're trying to hurry up and do stuff for the debt and make it seem like everything is good, but it's finna get red. The longer this shit go on, and their bases out. So now the United States cannot protect these people in the Middle East. So what they have also done is went to Plan B. They're tearing up the energy sector and all of this shit where how they make money. Okay, so they're tearing up all of the oil fields. They knocked out a big AI.
What else we got?
Breaking news, war update. Netanyahu gave a speech in Hebrew yesterday and said he has a major surprise for Iran that will completely destabilize the country. Netanyahu is asking Iranians to lay down their weapons and surrender or face death. I'm really starting to wonder if this is a threat for a nuclear option. I will be surprised if they do, but at the same time, I won't be surprised at all because you can't put nothing past these guys. It may be because of the fact that the Israeli Health Ministry today said at least 1,929 people have been hospitalized, including 157 in the past 24 hours, since the start of the Iran war, plus all the destruction we have been seeing. And like I said, 157 people were injured just yesterday. The Yemen leadership, the Houthis, have announced, and I quote, "We will soon enter the battle with surprise." If they do join, this will be a three-front war for Israel with real armies. Hezbollah in Lebanon hasn't stopped bombing northern Israel. Word is there's a total electricity blackout in Kiryat Shimona from the rockets, and they are lobbing rockets with no deterrence at all. I believe the Iron Dome is completely out of commission at this point. Yesterday I reported that Israel bombed Iran's oil tankers, 30 of them. And today it is being reported that there are tensions between the U.S. Army and Israel over the attack on oil facilities in Iran. A senior American security official said the Israelis told us in advance about the attacks against the oil facilities, but they didn't say they would be so extensive. We don't think it was a good idea. Beirut media reported today that Lebanese President Joseph Aoun proposed the idea of negotiating with Israel as a way out of the current crisis, according to the LBCI, citing informed sources. So far in Lebanon, at least 394 people, including 83 children, have been killed in Israeli attacks. This war continues and doesn't look good for the United States and Israel, and that's why it scares me that the nuclear option is on the table. Stay tuned for more updates. Breaking news, war update, Netanyahu.
The fact was that
Oh, can't play that. Come back to that.
Oh, new report. It looks like with bad intel and Israeli pressure, our special forces just tried to raid some nuclear facility in Iran. A parachute drop, apparently. Well, it looks like they were well prepared for it. All of our troops were slaughtered or captured. Nobody's reporting this.
I wonder why.
That must be, I mean, it had to have been at least a company level type of a situation. I would imagine at least brigade level. So we're talking about hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 troops captured and killed. Our troops, our special forces troops, captured and killed because these maniacs in charge have no idea what they're doing, have no idea what military intelligence is, have no idea what command and control is, and they're destroying our military. They're wasting our missiles, and they're making...
Can you imagine being in the military right now and having to follow orders to go into a war zone and die for really nothing, but for Israel?
Yeah, so our country is not going to be prepared if we get attacked, because they're freaking, throwing everything into the toilet for Israel, a scumbag nation that's been blackmailing us for years. Man, we have got to wake up. Israel is the cause of all of the problems in the world.
If someone really makes money with...
He was saying a little too much for YouTube. Fair use, fair use.
Let it all go.
So my body count is 1,000.
Alright, so for the
we wait for you to get sick.
Alright, so for the next couple of days, I'll be swing trading gold buys back to...
3 months ago I started...
If you're going to fight this war, believing that people in Iran are repressed and aren't allowed to show their hair, you watch too much fucking television. Because that's not what it's like in Iran. And the war isn't about freeing anybody. What you're doing is you're going to kill people you've never met, because people who eat children don't want to be exposed for what they do. Trump, Rubio, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Bibi Netanyahu, these cannibalistic, child-raping fuckheads deserve no respect, and they only have the authority over you that you choose to give them. So why the fuck do you give it to them? We know what these people are, we know what they do. And it's about time we called it, and it's about time we took control of the situation ourselves, folks. Want me to go fight a war? Say no, fuck you. There's been a...
Alright, so you get the picture, man. Shalom, I'm coming to you all about